I'll read a couple, give you a minute. All right, love? You got a fresh cut. Lovely. All right. I do not understand anything I see. How could I understand what I see when I have judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thought. I do not understand what I see because it is not understandable. There is no sense in trying to understand it. But there is every reason to let it go and make room for what can be seen and understood and loved. I can exchange what I see now for this merely by being willing to do so. Is not this a better choice than the one I made before? These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything because I am trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. I am not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place. I am willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God. These thoughts do not mean anything. I'll do one more, Anna. I am never upset for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think because I am constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I am constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. I am willing to let it go. I'm never upset for the reason I think. Anna, you ready?
I am upset because I see what is not there. Reality is never frightening. It is impossible that it could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace. When I'm upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I made up. The illusions are upsetting because I have given them reality, and thus regard reality as an illusion. Nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by this confusion of mine. I am always upset by nothing. I see only the past. As I look about, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemies. When I have forgiven myself and remembered who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. There will be no past and therefore no enemies. And I will look with love on all I failed to see before. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own thoughts, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is? Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Let me understand that I am trying to use time against God. Let me learn to give the past away, realizing that in so doing, I am giving up nothing.
Do another?
Sure. I see nothing as it is now. I see nothing as it is now. If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. The choice is merely whether to see or not. The choice is merely whether to see or not. What I have chosen to see has cost me vision. Now I would choose again that I may see.
Beautiful. Thank you. And yeah, with you.
My thoughts do not mean anything. I have no private thoughts. Yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of its creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts? My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, the world that pictures them can have no meaning. What is producing this world is insane, and so is what it produces. Reality is not insane, and I have real thoughts as well as insane ones. I can therefore see a real world if I look to my real thoughts as my guide for seeing.
Do another?
I am upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that represents chaotic thinking, and chaos has no laws. I cannot live in peace in such a world. I am grateful that this world is not real, and that I need not see it at all unless I choose to value it. And I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning.
Yeah. You do another?
A meaningless world engenders fear. The totally insane engenders fear because it is completely undependable and offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. I have given it the illusion of reality and have suffered from my belief in it. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. In choosing this, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear because I am acknowledging that it does not exist.
Thank you. God did not create a meaningless world. How can a meaningless world exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in his mind. It is in my mind too, because he created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts when the perfection of creation is my home? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really abide. God did not create a meaningless world. My thoughts are images that I have made. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering and loss and death shows me that I am seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts and am not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see. Yet, God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against him because it is not my will that they do so. My will is his, and I will place no other gods before him. Ooh. I'll do one more. Oh. I have no neutral thoughts. Neutral thoughts are impossible. Oh my God. Because all thoughts have power. They will either make a false world or lead me to the real one. But thoughts cannot be without effects. As the world I see arises from my thinking errors, so will the real world rise before my eyes as I let my errors be corrected. My thoughts cannot be neither true nor false. They must be one or the other. What I see shows me which they are. I have no neutral thoughts. Anna?
I see no neutral things. What I see witnesses what I think. If I did not think, I would not exist, because life is thought. Let me look on the world I see as the representation of my own state of mind. I know that my state of mind can change. And so I also know the world I see can change as well. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. If I have no private thoughts, I cannot see a private world. Even the mad idea of separation had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world I see. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. I can also call upon my real thoughts, which share everything with everyone. I can also call upon my real thoughts, which share everything with everyone. As my thoughts of separation call to the separation thoughts of others, so my real thoughts awaken the real thoughts in them. And the and the world my real thoughts show me will dawn on their sight as well as mine.
Good.
I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts.
Stop. Take a breath. Feel it when you read it. Don't read it to me, read it to yourself. Like focus on that you're reading it to yourself. Really focus on it. This is for me to hear. You teach what you need to hear yourself. You can tell when, like, there's a vibration, there's a thing in this, and it's like when you're just reading it like there, man, because you've got to read it, you can tell. When you're reading it because you're listening to it, you can tell. Don't let familiarity breed contempt. Let this be brand new this moment. This is important. And you have to read it with that sense of importance, that sense of sacredness, and that sense of devotion and all of that kind of thing. Focus. Okay. Take a breath. Let it in. Truly let it in.
I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts.
There you go.
I am alone in nothing. Everything I think or say or do teaches all the universe. A son of God cannot think or speak or act in vain. He cannot be alone in anything. It is therefore in my power to change every mind along with mine. For mine is the power of God.
Right. See where you heard that? It's therefore in my power to change every mind along with mine. For mine is the power of God. You know that's true. You heard it. Be about that. It's like there's a threshold for you. There's a whole thing that you're looking at right now, like energetically. It doesn't matter what the picturing in the people and the situations are. There's an energetic thing going on for you. And it's like you're coming up against it all the time. And in a certain regard, you're using the course to back away from it. The course becomes a comfort zone. It becomes something you use that you go back to when, oh, I can't go anywhere with that. Let me read the course, right? But it's literally in the application of the course, rather than using it as a spiritual bubble. It's literally in the application of the course that you're going to pop through, that whole thing's going to open, right? So you have to focus. You have to hear what it is that's being presented so that it integrates into your psyche. It integrates and it expands. It does its thing. It's a seed. It just, like, it'll take care of everything. It's like you're feeding, in a sense, you're feeding the Christ child within, making it stronger and stronger and stronger, the more that you're giving it the right food to grow with, right? And in your greatest need at this time, which is mind training, that is the right food, right? There's nothing else you can give it. Mind training, mind training, mind training. It's like Tina just had a moment like a couple of days ago where she popped through something, and I can tell there's been an energetic shift in her signature, in her presence. She may or may not even be aware of it yet, but it is. There's a whole thing now where instead of that total devastation that she goes into, there's almost like a recognition of the hilarity and the joy of things coming through to replace that, which is the activity of the Holy Spirit. And I've seen that in a few other guys now happening in our Zoom meetings. Okay. So you're learning to be very, very, what would you call it? Vigilant for the kingdom of heaven within you, which is your own sense of inner peace. And in that, you'll become aware when that gets like challenged, right? Or threatened or confronted, right? Those confrontations are good. Learn to use the teachings that we're studying here as a means to make the confrontation rather than as something that you read to alleviate the stress. Does that make sense? Right. So it's like a lot of people will say, oh, I've had a shitty day. And I'm just giving a roundabout example here, but a lot of people will say, oh, I've had a shitty day today, and pick up the course book to try and bring themselves back to a sense of inner peace about their shitty day, but not actually apply what the course is saying to the situation of the shitty day, right? It's like a comfort blanket. It's like, oh, there's my whoopee. I got my whoopee. It's a Course in Miracles book. You know, I even know people that tell me that they carry it around in their bag. I mean, it's a big book. They carry it around their bag because it makes them feel good to have it with them. And I'm not going to deny them at all that idea of how it makes you feel good and feel better. But it's like, you know, I've seen Course in Miracles books in people's toilet book racks. When you go to the toilet, it's like, what kind of freaking, you know, it's like, read the freaking thing. It's not there when you need to take a dump and you got a spare minute. It's like you're supposed to be giving your whole life and will to God, and Jesus will orchestrate the time for you to do the lessons. It's like, I don't even know what to do with that. People have, you know, a coffee table book and that sort of thing. It's like, but that's the mentality that the mind has. Oh, I'm getting a thing from James here. That's the mentality that the mind has in denial, that it'll use that idea of the comfort and the blessing and everything else rather than actually process through the actual application of it through the hearing. Okay, because when you hear this and when you read this, it's two totally different things. In one of those things, the light bulb goes on, and in the other thing, it's just like, oh, I feel better now I'm reading these words, right? But it's the same mind. Nothing really changes. So it's like I'm always pushing you guys to make those confrontations, and you've got some good stuff going on. You've got plenty of juicy stuff. It's like you got everything you need going on there right now to transcend the level you're at. All right. Look at that. You're totally joyous about it on the one hand, and then on the other hand, it's like it's totally crushing, like devastating. So make that effort.
Yeah.
Anthea, make that effort. Tina, make that effort. When you're reading, man, you got to, I'll tell you what, the ego slips in, like that mind just slips in with that kind of like thin veneer of like, you know, like all this sort of, oh, I'm reading the course. Fuck that. You want to be like Albert Einstein there, really focused on it and in the zone, you know, like all the time. You pick up this book and it's just like, all right, if you were on the hill, Mount Sinai or wherever it was, Jesus, was that Moses? One of them. Anyway, but the Mount of Olives or whatever it is, and you were listening to Jesus and everybody's murmuring around you, what's he saying, what's he saying? You'd be like this, shut up, I can't hear, I need to hear what he's saying, right? That's the intensity of listening, right? I need to listen, I really need to hear these words, because you only ever really hear them on this kind of superficial level. And it's like you can read a whole page in this course and you have no clue what you read when you get to the end. It doesn't stick out. It just like, it doesn't really go in. But then you'll have these moments where, bam, you'll hear it and it'll be like, oh, shit, I heard that. Like you just did that, Anna, at that very last line. I can change every mind along with mine. That's a true thing. You got to change yours first. Anyway, I'm just going to duck out for a tick. Oh, he still hasn't sent me a link. All right, cool.
All right, have fun. No, that's what you mean?
No, not yet. I'll shut up now. I'll just let you go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You ready, love? Take a breath.
I am determined to see.
Good.
Recognizing the shared nature of my thoughts. I am determined to see. I would look upon the witnesses that show me the thinking of the world has been changed. I would behold the proof that what has been done through me has enabled love to replace fear, laughter to replace tears, and abundance to replace loss. I would look upon the real world and let it touch me, that my will and the will of God are one. I am determined to see.
Good.
I am determined to see things differently. What I see now are but signs of disease, disaster, and death. This cannot be what God created for his beloved Son. The very fact that I see such things is proof that I do not understand God. Therefore, I also do not understand his Son. What I see tells me that I do not know who I am. I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me, rather than those which show me an illusion of myself.
Do another.
What I see is a form of vengeance. The world I see is hardly the representation of loving thoughts. It is a picture of attack on everything by everything. It is anything but a reflection of the love of God and the love of his Son. It is my own attack thoughts that give rise to this picture. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world and give me the peace God intended me to have. I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. Herein lies salvation and nowhere else. Without attack thoughts, I could not see a world of attack. As forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, I will see a world of peace and safety and joy, and it is this I choose to see in place of what I look on now.
Beautiful. Do a few. I do not perceive my own best interest. How could I recognize my own best interests when I do not know who I am? What I think are my best interests would merely bind me closer to the world of illusions. I am willing to follow the guide God has given me to find out what my own best interests are, recognizing that I cannot perceive them by myself. I do not perceive my own best interests. I do not know what anything is for. To me, the purpose of everything is to prove that my illusions about myself are real. It is for this purpose that I attempt to use everyone and everything. It is for this that I believe the world is for. Therefore, I do not recognize its real purpose. The purpose I have given the world has led to a frightening picture of it. Let me open my mind to the world's real purpose by withdrawing the one I have given it and learning the truth about it. Do not know what anything is for. Let me do one more. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. How can I know who I am when I see myself as under constant attack? Pain, illness, loss, age, and death seem to threaten me. All my hopes and wishes and plans appear to be at the mercy of a world I cannot control. Yet, perfect security yet perfect security and complete fulfillment are my inheritance. I have tried to give my inheritance away in exchange for the world I see. But God has kept my inheritance safe for me. My own real thoughts will teach me what it is. Oh, man. Oh. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Oh. Anna.
No, you got to keep going, Tina.
Oh, okay. Right on, Mom. Above all else, Above all else, I want to see. Oh, recognizing that what I see reflects what I think I am. I realize that vision is my greatest need. The world I see attests to the fearful nature of the self-image I have made. If I would remember who I am, it is essential that I let this image of myself go. It is essential that I let this image of myself go, as it is replaced by truth. Vision will surely be given me. And with this vision, I will look upon the world and on myself with charity and love. Above all else, I want to see. I'll do one more. Above all else, I want to see differently. Oh. Above all else, I want to see differently. The world I see holds my fearful self-image in place and guarantees its continuance. While I see the world as I see it now, truth cannot enter my awareness. I would let the door behind this world be open for me, that I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of God. Above all else, I want to see differently. Ah. All right, Anna.
God is in everything I see. Behind every image I have made, the truth remains unchanged. Behind every veil I have drawn across the face of love, its light remains undimmed. Beyond all my insane wishes is my will, united with the will of my Father. God is still everywhere and in everything forever. And we who are part of him will yet look past all appearances and recognize the truth beyond them all. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. In my own mind, behind all my insane thoughts of separation and attack, is the knowledge that all is one forever. I have not lost the knowledge of who I am because I have forgotten it. It has been kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left his thoughts. It has been kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left his thoughts. And I who am among them am one with them and one with him. I am not the victim of the world I see. How can I be the victim of a world that I can complete? How can I be the victim of a world that can be completely undone if I so choose? My chains are loosened. I could drop them off merely by desiring to do so. The prison door is open. I can leave simply by walking out. I can leave simply by walking out. Nothing holds me in this world. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. I would give up my insane wishes and walk into the sunlight at last.
That's beautiful. Thanks, sis.
I have invented the world I see. I made up the prison in which I see myself. All I need do is recognize this and I am free. I have deluded myself into believing it is possible to imprison the Son of God. I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The Son of God must be forever free. He is as God created him and not what I would make of him. He is where God would have him be and not where I thought to hold him prisoner. There is another way of looking at the world. Since the purpose of the world is not the one I ascribed to it, there must be another way of looking at it. I see everything upside down, and my thoughts are the opposite of truth. I see the world as a prison for God's Son. It must be then that the world is really a place where he can be set free. I would look upon the world as it is and see it as a place where the Son of God finds his freedom. I could see peace instead of this. When I see the world as a place of freedom, I realize that it reflects the laws of God instead of the rules I made up for it to obey. I will understand that peace, not war, abides in it, and I will perceive that peace also abides in the hearts of all who share this place with me.
Read the next one.
My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. As I share the peace of the world with my brothers, I begin to understand that this peace comes from deep within myself. The world I look upon has taken on the light of my forgiveness and shines forgiveness back at me. In this light, I begin to see what my illusions about myself kept hidden. I begin to understand the holiness of all living things, including myself, and their oneness with me.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Tina.
My holiness envelops everything I see. From my holiness does the perception of the real world come. Having forgiven, I no longer see myself as guilty. I can accept the innocence that is the truth about me, seen through understanding eyes. Seen through understanding eyes. The holiness of the world is all I see. For I can picture only the thoughts I hold about myself. My holiness blesses the world. The perception of my holiness does not bless me alone. Everyone and everything I see in its light shares in the joy it brings in me. There is nothing that is apart from this joy, because there is nothing that does not share my holiness. As I recognize my holiness, so does the holiness of the world shine forth for everyone to see. Wow. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. My holiness is unlimited in its power to heal, because it is unlimited in its power to save. What is there to be saved from except illusions? And what are all illusions except false ideas about myself? My holiness undoes them all by asserting the truth about me. In the presence of my holiness, which I share with God Himself, all idols vanish.
My holiness is my salvation. Since my holiness saves me from all guilt, recognizing my holiness is recognizing my salvation. It is also recognizing the salvation of the world. Once I have accepted my holiness, nothing can make me afraid. And because I am unafraid, everyone must share in my understanding, which is the gift of God to me and to all the world. I am blessed as the Son of God. Herein lies my claim to all good and only good. I am blessed as the Son of God. I am blessed as the Son of God. All good things are mine because God intended them for me. I cannot suffer any loss or deprivation or pain because of who I am. My Father supports me, protects me, and directs me in all things. His care for me is infinite and is with me forever. I am eternally blessed as his son. I am eternally blessed as his son. God goes with me wherever I go. How can I be alone when God always goes with me? How can I be doubtful and unsure of myself when perfect certainty abides in him? How can I be disturbed by anything when he rests in me in absolute peace? How can I suffer when love and joy let me not cherish illusions about myself?
Oh, you should keep going.
Let me not cherish illusions about myself. I am perfect because God goes with me wherever I go. God is my strength. Vision is his gift. Let me not look to my own eyes to see today. Let me be willing to exchange my pitiful illusion of seeing for the vision that is given by God. Christ's vision is his gift, and he has given it to me. Let me call upon this gift today so that this day may help me to understand eternity. Let me call upon this gift today so that this day may help me to understand eternity.
Beautiful. Thank you.
God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. I can see what God wants me to see. I cannot see anything else. Beyond his will lie only illusions. It is these I choose when I think I can see apart from him. It is these I choose when I try to see through the body's eyes. Yet the vision of Christ has been given me to replace them. It is through this vision that I choose to see. God is the light in which I see. I cannot see in darkness. God is the only light. Therefore, if I am to see, it must be through him. I have tried to define what seeing is, and I have been wrong. Now it is given me to understand that God is the light in which I see. Let me welcome vision and the happy world it will show me. God is the mind with which I think. I have no thoughts I do not share with God. I have no thoughts apart from him, because I have no mind apart from his. As part of his mind, my thoughts are his and his thoughts are mine. I'm just going to do this next one.
Yeah. Thank you.
God is the love in which I forgive. God does not forgive because he has never condemned. The blameless cannot blame, and those who have accepted their innocence see nothing to forgive. Yet forgiveness is the means by which I will recognize my innocence. It is the reflection of God's love on earth. It will bring me near enough to heaven that the love of God can reach down to me and raise me up to him. God is the love in which I forgive.
Thank you. Beautiful. Around it too. God is the strength in which I trust. It is not my own strength through which I forgive. It is through the strength of God in me, which I am remembering as I forgive. As I begin to see, I recognize his reflection on earth. I forgive all things because I feel the stirring of his strength in me. And I begin to remember the love I chose to forget, but which has not forgotten me. Oh man. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. How safe the world will look to me when I can see it. Oh man, it will not look anything like what I imagine I see now. Say that again. It will not look anything like what I imagine I see now. Everyone and everything I see will lean toward me to bless me. I will recognize in everyone my dearest friend. What could there be to fear in a world that I have forgiven and that has forgiven me? There is nothing to fear. Whew. Goodness. Well, Anna, you bring us home. Thank you, sis.
God's voice speaks to me all through the day. God's voice speaks to me all through the day. There is not a moment in which God's voice ceases to call on my forgiveness to save me. There is not a moment in which his voice fails to direct my thoughts, guide my actions, and lead my feet. I am walking steadily on toward truth. I am walking steadily on toward truth. There is nowhere else I can go because God's voice is the only voice and the only guide that has been given to his Son. There is nowhere else I can go because God's voice is the only voice and the only guide that has been given to his Son. As I listen to God's voice, I am sustained by his love. As I open my eyes, his love lights up the world for me to see. As I forgive, his love reminds me that his Son is sinless. And as I look upon the world with the vision he has given me, I remember that I am his son. I am sustained by the love of God.
Thank you. This is beautiful. Thank you.
So where did Dave go?
He's doing a podcast today.
Oh,
Yeah. This is Annie was gonna fill in for him, but we got a message. I don't think you were here for it. We got a message at the beginning that she's not able to. So this
gotcha.
is a wrap. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you, love.
Thank
I
you,
love your
Anna.
haircut. I didn't get to
Oh,
say.
thank
I
you.
saw your fresh cut, but I didn't get to acknowledge how much I love your fresh cut. Looks so
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Looks good on you.
Yeah.
I like
All
the
right.
little
Well,
edge
yeah.
in there.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much, Anna. Always,
Yeah.
always, always. Much love, sis.
Love you guys.
See you Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Lovely Anthea. Always giving me the giggles.
I really like your hair like that. You look so sweet.
Yeah, I thought I'd do it again for you.
It's my
No,
favorite. It's my favorite style so far.
oh my goodness. Well, it's so fancy. I can't do this all the time.
Can't you?
This can't be my regular. You can only pull this out every now and again.
Is it difficult to do that? It just looks like
it's so easy. It's so easy, and I love it. And I want to do it every day. But it kind of feels like, I'm being extra. Feels like being extra. But I like it because
you can be extra. It's certainly making me love you more.
Am I? Don't make it special. Has to be holy.
It is holy. It's really holy.
Yeah, it's super easy because then I don't have to let it dry. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything to it. And then when I pull it out, my hair is not so curly. It's a little bit stretched out a little bit. So
Right.
There's lots of advantages. Not that you asked.
No, I look forward to see where it's transitioning to next.
Well, it's getting, my hair is growing out. So it's kind of like that place where you should maybe cut it and it's just like it's so curly. It's so hard to now I know why my mom just straightened my hair when I was a kid. But now I understand.
Well, I like it like that.
Thank you. You could just leave it there instead of all this talking from me. I should say thank you.
All right, love.
All right. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go to work today.
Do you have to go to work today?
Yeah, I pop off and go back to work anyway, but
What day is it for you?
it's Saturday, but this is a day where I try to make up for all the time I didn't work during the week. so it ends up being a really rather long day. So I'm gonna actually probably make it today.
Okay, well, have a good one.
I'll do my best. You too.
All right, love you.
Love you more.
Bye.
Bye.